So what, like, you've been working on comics this entire time. How do you know what project you want to really bring to life and like get printed and push forward with, and some that is just like, practice material and just like personal, stuff for you to like at least just get out of your system? Like, where do you make that deciding factor?
Um, Kind of. So in the past few years, I did that actually. So I had this really big project that I worked on and started called Yeti or Not. My senior year of college. I love the story. I had a lot of ideas for it. I continue to have ideas for it throughout the years. And when I started working in film, I had to stop making that project because I was spending so much time on set. And as I was working on set, the story changed in my mind so much. And I actually had a film producer hit me up to make that a TV show or something. I wrote a lot of pilots. He wasn't happy. I was not happy making a lot of pilots. And I kind of got in my head about it a little bit because it was a story that I really enjoyed. And suddenly I wasn't enjoying what I was coming up with. So I just threw it all down. I was like, I'm going to take a break. I love these characters, but like, they're going to be here. I'm going to be here. So I made a few mini comics in between just to kind of keep making comics and not have a like mental block, because I felt like there was kind of like a mental block there. So yeah, I made a few comics in between and figured out my style of how I wanted to continue to work. And, I got quite a few storyboard gigs and like other like just random freelance opportunities in the middle to help cultivate that style, and just kind of set that story aside for a while. And now actually finally figured out exactly how I want the rest of the story to go, which is
Nice.
so amazing to feel, because I took, what is it, like 2024. So I took a break from that story for like 5 years.
Wow.
And people in my community here are still asking me about that story.
That's cool. That's super
Um,
cool.
yeah. So it makes me feel so good because I love those characters so much. I love that story so much. So it's really exciting that once I finally release that book again, it's it's gonna be badass. People are gonna love it. I'm gonna love it. We're all gonna be happy.
That's sick. No, no, that's amazing. And it's
Yeah.
cool that you like held on to something like that, like getting offers to like move it forward and trying to like, push it into something. And like, I've seen a lot of like creators, come back and be like, we made this into X, Y, and Z, but then it really lost what I was trying to do and pour into it. And you kind of lose your creation in that sense. Kind of like with Neil Gaiman and Sandman. He had a million offers to do Sandman as a
Mm,
TV show and like a movie and all sorts of stuff. And he always turned them down until it was the right moment. And it seems like that was kind of a thing for you, is that like, yeah, you probably wrote a few pilots and it didn't work out, but it was probably like the better thing that didn't happen. It's like, you get opportunities and that's great. That's exciting and that's wonderful. But like, is it really an opportunity if you lose like the love of your project and what you created while making that opportunity happen? I feel like, taking the break and formatting it in your head and finding the love and rediscovering what it was supposed to come to life and really truly become is a way more positive outcome than, say if you did get it made into a TV show, but then it wasn't like the story you wanted to tell or how you wanted it to go, and you kind of lose out on some of that. Do you feel like that's kind of how you feel about the entire situation with that?
yeah, absolutely. Because I didn't even know what I wanted it to be back
Hmm.
then. So now that I know exactly where I want the story to go, maybe you can develop it after I'm done with it. But
Yeah,
let me finish it first.
I get that.
So
And I mean, dude, like, I don't know, the Umbrella Academy, like, I wasn't a big fan of the TV show, but like I love the
Mm.
comics, and I feel like the TV show wasn't that great because the comics weren't done being written. And I don't know how you could like adapt something and bring something to life when you're like, I'm not done telling you the story because I'm not sure what the story is yet. Like I'm still
Right.
trying to get a grip and a hold. So how can you take this and run with it and turn it into something when it's really just like a fragment of the work that it should be? Um,
Exactly.
yeah, that makes sense.
And it was so frustrating to like, push myself. Okay, it's going to end like this. It's going to end like this. It's going to end like this. And every time, like, that's just not right. Like, all the steps getting to that end point just aren't adding up to where I want this whole story to be. And it was because I had had all these preconceived notions of all these other story moments that I wanted in the story when I never needed any of those and needed to be completely different. And it was really hard to get there. But like now that I'm here, I can see the final product in my head. It's going to be like, so I've actually printed this. I've actually had a lot of different reprints through you guys, quite
Oh,
a few
cool.
different times of this. It's like a little graphic novel. It's the first 3 issues of Yeti or Not, and like just some sketch pages of issue 4 that are scrapped, and like some development of the series. But that's going to be like the first book of the trilogy. It's about 114 pages long. And then I'm going to probably do like 2 150-page books
Oh,
after
wow.
that. Yeah,
That's
I did issues for this book, but I don't think I like doing the 1, 2, 3, 4 like issue books. I've done quite a few one shots, but I had to reprint those issues so many times,
mm,
and people will be like, "Oh, I have 1, I have 2. Do I have this one?" I'm like, I don't know.
yeah,
Like,
that makes sense.
just buy the book too, because like I sell the issues for like $7 now, but these are like 14 or $15. So it's better for my my fan too to buy the graphic novel instead.
Yeah,
It's
that
more
makes sense.
content too. I prefer those books too, and I think this size is so cute.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
really is,
manga
dude.
size.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the dimensions on that? Is it like manga size?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sick, dude. That's
Mhm.
awesome. And and just like a small plug, like I know CWS just has like all these new machines, and their perfect binding machine just got like this
Yeah.
major upgrade. So like the fact that you've probably gotten reprints but haven't printed like a full run yet, probably beneficial for you at this point as well. Cause like there are new stuff that I've seen that my next anthologies, the Cybersync and Shadows anthology that Apollo City Comics put out, they just went through those systems, and I'm getting those books in this week. I'm so excited to like
Cool.
open them up and check them out. Because yeah, the glue they use and everything has been upgraded, so you probably get way more life out of your book too at this point.
Bring your comic books to life and print your comics with